Good morning. We're here to announce the arrest of an illegal alien after a juvenile disclosed sexual misconduct and a sexual encounter with this, at the time, an unknown adult that he connected with using a social media app. Early this month, we received information, a report regarding the sexual abuse of a child working with the Gulf Coast Children's Advocacy Center. The victim was interviewed and disclosed to meeting an adult male using a social media app and meeting, and that the adult male engaged in sexual conduct with the juvenile, who was 16 years old. We did not know the identity of the male at the time, but we worked with our Bay Real-Time Operations Center as well as our criminal investigators to identify the adult male as 44-year-old Damian Golger, who is a Jamaican national. We have arrested Golger. We determined that he was in the U.S. illegally and had entered on a visa and overstayed that visa. In speaking with him, he admitted to sexual involvement with the child, admitted to meeting the child, and also we determined during the course of that that he failed to disclose to have a chronically sexually transmitted disease. And so we have charged Golger with one count of unlawful sexual activity with a minor, and also one count of uninformed HIV-infected sexual intercourse. This is obviously a very concerning situation to us, and it's something that addresses two issues that we talk about all the time and that we're very proactive in working. One is sexual abuse of children is something we're not going to tolerate. We've got zero tolerance for that. We're proactive with that. A lot of time this occurs using social media. So we want to encourage parents to educate their children on the dangers of social media and meeting somebody online and what their intentions may be, as well as have parents be very proactive in teaching their children that, as well as monitoring their children's social media activity, as well as illegal immigration. You know, it's a big topic and has been for a while. I've talked about that numerous times when we talk about the fentanyl crisis and criminal activity, where we don't know who these people are that are in the country illegally. This individual could be a sexual offender in Jamaica or have a long rap sheet in Jamaica. We don't have that information because they're in the country illegally, and I'm glad that we finally have an administration that is willing to step up and address this issue, because this is the kind of stuff that continues to happen, and it's not something we're going to tolerate. We're working daily with Immigration and Customs Enforcement. We began an operation with them on Sunday that has resulted in the arrest of 9 criminal illegal aliens in Bay County. We've worked to transport those individuals to ICE detention facilities for ICE to assist them with that, as well as we are working with them to get a warrant service officer training where we can train 25 correction deputies at our jail to be able to serve immigration paperwork. We're looking in the future as far as participation in some of the immigration task forces that may be coming down the line. So working every day with them, we anticipate continuing with that as well. But this, again, reason I wanted to come and do a press conference and speak to you directly, because these are two issues that we are very proactive about, very passionate about, and it's not something we're going to tolerate in our community. On the sexual abuse of a child, we're going to work those cases and charge them with the highest possible charges and work with the state attorney's office to make sure they're convicted of these charges. And on illegal immigration, we're going to work with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on those cases. He'll be charged on a serious felony charge. We have been in contact with Immigration and Customs Enforcement on this case, and they have him currently on an ICE hold, which means that once the state charges are resolved, then he'll be turned into ICE custody. And with that, I'll answer any questions.
Let's see. So with the Laken Riley Act recently being signed,
Yep.
Does this have to do with that act?
Yeah, I think absolutely, and I applaud the current administration. The previous administration, the Biden administration, did nothing on illegal immigration and put us in the situation that we're in right now. Congress and the President have signed the Laken Riley Act into law, which my understanding of that would allow for deportation of this individual. I think that, hopefully that would occur even without that act, but I know that it involves cases such as this. I know we've seen, in the news quite a bit, the situation in Tallahassee, and I appreciate the governor and the legislature stepping up to try to address this issue and to give local law enforcement the resources that we need to fight this. I know that both of the bills, that are currently in, that they're trying to work their way through, and there's a lot of disagreement on. Both of the bills have some very positive things for law enforcement to give us the tools to address illegal immigration, funding for that, as well as changes to the law. So I think they are both very determined to give us the tools we need where the rubber meets the road with local law enforcement to do that. But there's a legislative process with that. My job as sheriff is to enforce the laws, not make the laws. The legislature proposes the laws with input from the governor, but in order for something to become law, it has to be signed by the governor. So if the legislature comes up with something that the governor's not willing to sign, that does not become law. It does not provide what we need to help us. At the same token, the governor works with the legislature to make sure that it's something that can pass the legislature. So my hope is that the governor and the legislature can work together to have a bill that gets passed in the legislature and signed by the governor that'll give us these tools. And I think they can do that by working together. I think as an elected official and as a citizen, I think we all expect at all levels of government for them to work together and arrive at a legislation that can actually impact what's occurring in our communities. And I think they'll get there.
And you said you've caught 9 illegal immigrants since last Sunday. How do you expect this to impact future cases? Do you expect to see this high of a rate for the rest of the year?
Yeah, I'm committed to working with ICE. We do not have immigration enforcement authority, but we can certainly be a force multiplier for them when they're going out on these situations, help them with the investigation. They're the ones that have to make the arrest and do the appropriate paperwork under federal law to enforce the immigration laws. But we can certainly help them, and we're going to do that. We're committed to doing that. We've made several transports for them already to Mississippi and Alabama to ICE detention facilities of these 9 that we've arrested so far this week, and we're going to continue that. That's going to be a daily occurrence at the Bay County Sheriff's Office. That when ICE or other federal agencies need assistance, we're going to be there to help them. I'm also exploring the possibility of the 287G program, which there's 2 programs with that. One allows us to send a certain number of our people to training to have federal immigration authority. We had that, Sheriff McKeithen started that probably back around the 2007-2008 time period. It was very successful. I think it was sunsetted or eliminated during the Obama administration in 2012, so we were basically forced out of the program at that time, and our deputies that went through the training, which is pretty intensive, it's 6 weeks of training to have that authority, they no longer had that authority anymore. So we're looking, if that comes back, to be able to participate in that program. There's also a jail model that allows our detention deputies to conduct immigration-related investigations and do the paperwork necessary to put the person into the immigration court system, leading to potential deportation from the country. But the quick actions that we are taking is trying to get this warrant service officer program in place as soon as possible, which would be about a 4 to 6 hour training by ICE to our detention deputies that allows, again, assistance to ICE and a force multiplier where our detention deputies are able to serve the immigration-related paperwork. But I'm 100% committed to being a part of the solution on this, because bad things like this happen when we don't address issues like illegal immigration.
And how do you think this is going to just affect the community?
So we've got a really bad guy off the streets that victimized a 16-year-old male, and that is something that's not acceptable. It's something that we are going to prosecute, working with the state attorney's office to the full extent of the law. I think that our actions here, as well as removing other criminal illegal aliens, those that are here in the country illegally or overstayed a visa, but they've also committed crimes, which is what the focus is on right now. I think it makes Bay County safer.
And would you say just since Sunday, there's already been 9 arrests? Would you
Yes.
say that you can expect for an increase in this type of arrest?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. The federal government mandate, the state government mandate, and my mandate as elected sheriff of Bay County is that this causes significant public safety issues in our community, and we finally have an administration that is addressing that issue, and we are going to certainly be involved to the maximum extent possible and help address this problem, because bad things like this happen. All right. Thank you.